Today on Mustang Magazine, junior swimmer Catherine Osborne is staying in the pool, senior Fernando Morales is fighting back, local musician John McTagg is taking his talents to iTunes, and reporter Lauren Plasko heads over to the fire department for an investigation on some little red boxes. These stories and more on this month's edition of Mustang Magazine.
Hello and welcome to this summer edition of Mustang Magazine, the show that brings you all the interesting stories from Norwood High School and the surrounding community. I'm Jess Murphy.
And I'm Nick Kimmett. Mustang Magazine is produced by the Advanced Journalism students in NHS's broadcast classes. To start off the show today, Tessa McGuire brings us the story about junior swimmer Catherine Osborne, who is always on a mission to stay in the pool.
Being in the pool is a way of life for junior Catherine Osborne.
I love everything about swimming. It's so much fun. I get to hang out with all my friends. I get to be physically active. I get to be in shape, be with my team, my family. My normal events are the 100-yard freestyle and the 50-yard freestyle, but I also do the 200-yard freestyle or the 100-yard backstroke.
But it hasn't always been about winning races for Catherine. Back in 2010, she was swimming well, but she just wasn't feeling right.
I was really sick. I was losing a lot of weight. I just was awful mood. I just didn't want to do anything. And so my parents took me to the hospital, and I don't really remember much. I basically passed out, and they diagnosed me with type 1 diabetes.
Type 1 diabetes is a condition in which the pancreas produces little or no insulin. And if Catherine wants to keep swimming, she's got to manage herself carefully.
While I swim, the exercise makes your blood sugar drop, but it also can cause it to rise because adrenaline causes sugar to go up. So whether I'm really excited, it could make me go high, or it could also make me go low because I'm exercising a lot.
It's very important that Catherine's blood sugar levels are kept as close to normal as possible.
Before practices, I take my pump off an hour before I get in the pool, so that way I'm not getting insulin in my body. And then I test my blood sugar right before I come into the pool, and I eat 30 grams of carbs so my blood sugar doesn't drop.
Whatever Catherine is feeling that day, she knows she can rely on her teammates for support.
My swim team is probably one of the most supportive people I've ever met. They're so supportive. They help me every step of the way. If I'm low, they always ask me if I'm okay, what they can do, and they're so understanding, and I love them so much.
And her coach is quick to point out that she doesn't just have a supporting role, she's a leader on the team.
Having Catherine on our team has been an inspiration to all of us. It's positive in every way because even when she has to come out of the pool because her counts are low, she always has a smile on her face. She does what she has to do and she gets right back in. She never uses it as an excuse. In fact, it upsets her when she has to get out because she'd rather be in the pool working hard.
Even though diabetes has impacted Catherine in many ways, it has also given her the strength to keep on swimming.
It's made me such a better person. It's made me stronger. It has brought me together with so many friends because I go to diabetes camp. So it's just made me an all-around better person.
Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Tessa McGuire.
Thanks, Tessa. Conditioning for next year's swim team has already begun. Good luck to Catherine and her team.
Next up, we introduce you to parkour enthusiast Tom Meyer, who's been taking his skills to the streets of New England. Reporters Ryan Begley and Kayleen Spalding filed this report. While many teenagers find action on the field, Tom Meyer is able to find it anywhere.
It definitely takes a different mindset than just seeing life as it is. Like you see a wall, I see a flip. A wall flip.
Ever since he discovered it, Tom has been flipping over the fast-growing sport of parkour.
Parkour, in its most basic sense, is, I think, freedom of movement.
Tom began getting involved in parkour when he was 10 or 11 by doing flips on his trampoline.
from there, I really just started like seeing YouTube videos of more and more intense things.
But Tom realized that these people weren't on trampolines. They took it to the urban environment.
They were in like the city, you know, people going off buildings and like seeing these crazy chase scenes in movies and all of this stuff, and I really kind of went from there, and then I discovered the parkour classes here at NESA.
NESA, also known as New England Sports Academy, is a place where Tom can hone his skills in a safer environment.
A lot of people see all of us doing like all these flips and stuff like that, and they think like, oh, you're gonna break your neck, you know, you're gonna break your leg, all these kind of things. But it's, if you have the right technique, you know, if you keep your mind clear when you're doing it, and you don't let things distract you, you don't train without really like precautionary measures, you know, taking precautionary measures, you'll find that you'll be safe.
According to Tom, everybody falls once in a while, but he knows the risk involved.
Even if you're gonna fall, you can't completely bail out, because that's when you get hurt.
This advice is exactly what Tom practices. He even uses his knowledge to help others learn the art of parkour.
Keep your feet together, but land on your toes. I began teaching them and really grew to love it. You know, I worked the entire summer here teaching kids parkour from 9 to 4 every day. And it was a really fun experience, and I really like showing kids and seeing them progress and all of that kind of stuff. Theo, don't use your hands. Oh! Don't use your hands. Throw your arms up like that, it helps you jump higher.
And when he's teaching the kids, it's always safety first.
I'll start them off with like some basics, like landing and rolling from a large height, you know, like to be able to tuck and roll to absorb an impact, or like some basic vaults like a Kong vault, a dash vault, speed vault, reverse vault, which are just a way to get over an obstacle, you know. And then from there we go to some other basics like a wall run, or like cat hangs, things like that.
Those who try it just need to have the faith and commitment that Tom has.
It's all about really showing them that to really believe in yourself with it, because if you don't believe in yourself and you don't commit, you know, you're not going to get these things, you know.
For Mustang Magazine, I'm Kayleen Spalding.
Try to land up a little bit.
Thanks, Kayleen. For more information on taking parkour classes, visit www.nesacademy.com.
Now it's time for this month's investigative report. Have you ever wondered if those old red fireboxes are still functioning in Norwood? Lauren Plasko brings us the story.
In the modern age of emergency response, there is only one traditional alerting system, nearly 100 years old.
This device is called a firebox. When you pull this hook right here, an alert will go out to the fire department and they'll know to come here. So if there's a fire and you're not near a phone, all you do is pull this hook and they'll be coming.
Part of the reason that we still have them is we have certain buildings in town that are required by the building code to have them, such as the hospital, the nursing homes, hotels. Their purpose was to alert us of a problem.
The fireboxes were first installed in Boston, Massachusetts back in the early 1900s. Before 911 and cell phones, these little red boxes were the primary way of alerting the fire department of emergency.
These boxes are a very simple design. They don't rely on some of the sources that we use now, like electricity. It's a mechanical device. It's a wind-up mechanical device. That number is sent over a line, a phone line, or a fire alarm line, here to the fire station. And we can look up that number, we know where that box is located, and we respond to that location.
Some locations depend on two types of fireboxes that work together.
One we call a street box, one we call a master box. A street box is the box that you go up to and you simply pull the hook. A master box is activated by another device, usually a fire alarm device inside of a building.
But in this day and age, the firebox is becoming more and more irrelevant.
You know, in many communities they're removing the boxes because they say they're too expensive. And we don't need them nowadays because we have cell phones and phone lines, and I don't happen to agree with that.
For the Norwood community, the dependability of mechanical fireboxes will remain.
They're simple and they are redundant. When something is simple and redundant, it's reliable. And you know, a cell phone, you may not have access to a cell tower, your phone lines may be down. If you're choking or you don't speak English, you pull that hook, there's a good chance the help's going to be on its way in short order.
So it looks like the fireboxes will keep us safe in Norwood for years to come. Reporting from Mustang Magazine, I'm Lauren Plasko.
Thanks, Lauren. Glad to know that those fireboxes are still functioning after all these years.
Our next story brings us back to Norwood High School. Reporters Ryan Stanton and Michael Roy bring us a feature on senior soccer captain Fernando Morales.
Senior Fernando Morales has been playing soccer his entire life.
You know, there was just something about kicking a ball around that really got to me and made me happy.
As a freshman at Norwood High, Fernando started on the JV team, but that didn't last for long.
I was called up to varsity after about 4 games, and after that I became a starter and started splitting time with one of the seniors on the team.
And his sophomore year, he made the varsity team and started every game, but something just wasn't right.
I started feeling pain about a month after soccer season ended. There was a pain in my knee, and I went to physical therapy for about 2.5 months.
It turns out it wasn't Fernando's knee at all, but his pelvis, radiating pain down his leg into his knee. After visiting specialist, he was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, a rare disease in which cancer cells are found in the bone or in soft tissue. But after diagnosis, Fernando remained positive.
I always tell people that I never had, like, the typical "you have cancer" reaction. I just kind of took it and I was like, okay, you know, I'll just do what I needed to do to get better.
And he did look better. Last spring, he was told that he had beaten the cancer, but this fall, some test results came back and changed his life again.
My mom told me. She told me that there was a growth in my tumor, and I cried. I just broke down right away. It was just, I was actually scared for my life for the first few days, but then I just got chemo this past week and the pain in my leg went away, so I'm like, I can't believe I even thought that.
And Fernando isn't fighting cancer alone, because he's got a support group of family and friends.
A big thank you to all of them, because in the long run, cancer is more of a mental thing than actually getting medicine, and they help keep me positive.
Fernando's girlfriend, Rebecca, has also been there giving him support and hoping to fill the void left by not playing soccer.
Soccer is a huge part of Fernando's life, and it was really nice that this year they made him the captain of the team, so that way even though he couldn't play on the field, he was still a big part of the team. It really meant a lot to him.
I just miss being out in the field running, playing, just being part of something. Don't give me that look!
Rebecca knows what an inspiration Fernando is to the team and is helping support Fernando's cause by raising awareness.
We're also doing fundraising at the school for Fernando. Like, we have the blue shirts with the heart on the left side that has a soccer ball pattern in them. Me and his sister have been making yellow ribbons to give to everyone to wear to raise awareness.
I think I was lucky. I see them wearing yellow and the yellow ribbons around school. Even if it's just a small thing like wearing a ribbon, it's raising awareness.
If you'd like to make a difference and donate, you can go to www.ewingsarcoma.org to help find a cure. From Mustang Magazine, I'm Ryan Stanton.
Thanks, guys. If you'd like to make a difference in Fernando's fight, make sure to visit online at www.ewingsarcoma.com. There are a lot of talented students at Norwood High School with a lot of interesting hobbies. Recently, I caught up with one whose hobby flies high above the rest. Teenagers and flying might seem like a crazy combination, but the sky has no limit on Junior Matt PSA.
I like to fly because I just like to explore new places and learn new things.
I fit flying time usually on the weekends or vacations, summer vacation, and really any time that I don't have school, I'll go out and fly.
And for Matt, it's all about the experience.
My favorite thing about flying is probably the landings. Just trying it in all different places and all different situations is a lot of fun.
Flying can be extremely dangerous, but Matt knows you should always be prepared when little things do go wrong during flight.
Well, it was on my 15th flight, and it was really windy. We were going in for just usual landings at this airport right here, and a big gust of wind almost flipped us over into a spin. I really wasn't too nervous or scared because I know how experienced my instructor is. So I was just putting it all on him, making sure that he would keep me safe and get us down safely.
Matt is quite the experienced young pilot, but there are even some aspects of flying that he hasn't even learned yet.
The most challenging part about flying is instrument flying. I haven't really got there yet, but instrument flying is when you fly the airplane without looking outside of the cockpit. You use just your instruments to take off while you're en route and to land.
Flying is a great opportunity to explore new places and see the world from a whole different point of view.
The coolest place I've flown to is in North Dakota. We just got to fly over all these different places and these lakes. We flew to a place called Devil's Lake, and it's a really gigantic lake. The landing coming into their airport was just like right over the water, kind of like when you're flying into Logan. So it was just an awesome experience.
Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Nick Kimmett. Summer is here, but just last April we had a late season snowstorm. For the next story, we bring you to Mark Rinaldi's backyard for some hockey action.
Staff reporter Michael Roy brings us the story.
You know, it's just pretty cool, you know, when it's like snow days or like days like this where it's just like it's cold and you got nothing to do. You know what I do? I just come out here and I play some hockey. You know, I got my friends out here, we're just playing some hockey, having a good time, you know. My name is Mark Rinaldi, second line center for the NHS-TV hockey team. Dangling benders and sniping tenders.
Mark's dad, Jim, has been making this rink every winter for the kids since they moved to Norwood in 2000.
It's basically just a frame of 2x8s, and then you get a piece of plastic, put it down, fill it with water. It's just a place for the kids to do something in the winter, skate. They all play ice hockey, so they like to skate, so you can skate at night too. So we got lights.
The rink hasn't always looked like this. Things have been added to make it better every year.
When I was younger, all it really was like, it was kind of like half the size of this, and it was like, there really was no boards or net or anything because we were just little. But as we got older, it started to expand. It started to get more like technological. Like we put the boards on the side and we put the net in up there. So it's gotten a lot bigger and cooler as we got older. It's pretty cool.
The rink has brought hockey into the lives of many of Mark's friends.
Yeah, you know, if it wasn't for this rink, I'd really be a terrible skater. You know, I've been doing this for a while now, and it's pretty awesome. If it wasn't for these guys helping me out, tutoring me how to skate, I wouldn't be where I am today, so it means a lot. It really...
The rink is perfect for small 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 pickup games.
Usually what happens is I'll dangle everybody and then I'll snipe, and I celly pretty hard. There's many different cellies. I've learned from NHL-13 how to celly. You put the stick in the air, you scoop the ice, or you can do the rifle, you know, ride the stick. Happy Gilmore. Ride it!
Just as hockey always is, the emotions can get the best of the players.
It's always fun, but you know, sometimes it gets a little chippy. Yeah, I'll take some hot dogs. You guys want hot dogs? Sometimes we gotta let that anger, we gotta drop the gloves. I don't think I've ever lost a fight in my home ice, but you know, it happens. If people want to step up, drop the gloves, come over here. Let's go, step into the ring. I'm looking at you, Scotty Joe.
Despite the fact that there are no benches, fans still squeeze into the backyard to watch the kids play.
Some of the fans that like to watch me on the ice come by to watch me in my natural environment. We usually get some fine girls over here to squeegee the ice for us so they can play with the studs of the team. Everybody loves a hockey player.
Before making the rink, poor little Marky Rinaldi didn't have many friends.
No one wanted to hang out with me. But then like my dad put up this rink because he just felt bad for me. And like all these kids started hanging out with me. I made all these friends.
Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Mike Roy.
Thanks, Michael. Thankfully, we won't be seeing any snow for a while.
Let's change things up a bit. Recently, local musician John McTagg has taken his talents to iTunes. Aaron Crowley reports.
Hey guys, my name is John McTagg and I make music, and music is my life.
John is a sophomore at Xaverian High School who was inspired by 3 Days Grace to make music.
the lyrics that 3 Days Grace can come up with really affect me, and they really speak to me, and I kind of want to write those lyrics.
Once he was inspired, he started his music career.
I taught myself guitar, and I'm teaching myself piano right now.
John has his own method to writing songs.
I usually just think of a name for the song, and then I'll kind of base like the song around that. The name of the song can be like a general theme, and then I'll write the verses, pre-choruses.
To get his music out to the public, he put his song on iTunes.
It's up on iTunes mainly because I thought it would be easier for people to listen to it, access it, get a sample of it.
You don't need any big record deal to put a song on iTunes. John used a smaller platform called TuneCore.
I just worked with a TuneCore label. They'll deal with iTunes directly for you if you just give them all the information at least a night before, so you don't have to get involved with any legal issues or anything.
John has big plans for using the money he gets from iTunes.
Yeah, so most of that money is going to be going towards advertisement, kind of maybe funding some of the mics, cameras, and equipment that I'll need to kind of help my music get better.
Like every upcoming artist, John has a lot of supporters.
You get plenty of attention. You get people that will always support you, whether you're happy or unhappy.
But for new artists, there's just as much negative attention as positive.
People are always going to go out there and, like try to put you down and tell you you're not any specialer than anyone else. You can obviously overcome those as long as you understand that you're better than anyone else.
To check out John's music, you can follow him on Twitter @JMcTagMusic or like his Facebook page, John McTag. For 99 cents, you can buy his single, All I Need to Love, on iTunes. From Mustang Magazine, I'm Erin Crowley.
Thanks, Erin. You can download John's new single, All I Need to Love, on iTunes. Keeping with the love theme, there's a lot of supportive people in the Norwood community. Recently, I caught up with one family, overwhelmed by the love, while dealing with a serious health issue.
Kim Federico is a Norwood resident involved in many clubs and organizations.
I looked into the town to become involved in some of their community programs and found that I was able to join the board of the Norwood Basketball Association and, be able to keep basketball alive, the sport I love.
But life hasn't always been easy for Kim. In March 2010, her 5-year-old daughter, Maggie, started struggling in school, and her kindergarten teacher noticed that her penmanship began to decline.
They were trying to figure out, was she just not being challenged? But after seeing a couple doctors, they realized that it was more motor skills.
My hands got tired when I started to write because I couldn't write so neat and stuff. So every time my teacher told me to write again, it was frustrating.
She was having problems gripping it, and it must have a problem somewhere along the line of communication from her brain to her fingers.
So, Maggie had an MRI which determined that she had a brain tumor on her thalamus, which is the dead center of the brain. At first, doctors said it was inoperable.
I felt sad that something was wrong with me.
The inoperable really didn't sink in too much because I just figured we were going to get more opinions, and if we couldn't do surgery, chemo and drugs would save it. We're going to fight this and we'll win the battle.
Although they were hit hard with the diagnosis, Kim and Maggie gathered up their strength and pushed forward.
In late May, they scheduled her for surgery, and after about 6 or 7 hours, they were actually able to take the whole tumor out.
I felt happy that I was over, so I could go home instead of stay there.
Doctors tell us it's going to be a marathon. It's nothing that's going to happen overnight.
With therapy now behind them, Maggie and Kim are starting to return to a normal life, and they are thankful for the support from the Norwood community.
The school community has been phenomenal in just giving Maggie that extra support. It felt good for all the years that I gave to the town, that the town was able to give back to you. People in this town are there for whomever, whatever, whenever. She knows to fight for everything that she wants and not to give up. You could be at your lowest point and just know it's always going to get better.
For more information on how you can support children with illnesses like Maggie's, visit giving.childrenshospital.org. Reporting for Mustang Magazine, I'm Jess Murphy.
Athletics are very important to students at Norwood High School, but not everyone plays a team sport.
For our next feature, we profile sophomore Brian Linane as he tries to make a name for himself in the world's oldest sport. Reporter Helena Aldui takes us to the gym to file this report.
Sophomore Brian Linane has been boxing for the past 3 years.
My cousin got me into this. He said I should try boxing, and the first day I moved here, I came down here, and I liked everything about boxing. I quit all my other sports to do this.
Since then, Brian has realized that boxing is something that he is really passionate about.
It makes me feel good because I feel strong, I feel healthy, I feel in shape. When I'm in shape, I don't get tired very quick. I can fight for a long time when I'm in very good shape.
The boxing gym is where Brian goes when he is feeling stressed.
I can come to the gym, I can hit the bag, I can clear my mind about things. It gets a very good workout. You sweat a lot. It's the best way to get in your best shape.
Brian's usual workout is not what most athletes do.
When I come to the gym, I do about 3 rounds of shadow boxing, 3 rounds of the heavy bag. I do about 3 rounds of the speed bag, about 10 to 15 minutes of the jump rope, and then I do 4 rounds of the mitts, and I call that a pretty good workout.
Jimmy Farrell, who is not only Brian's trainer, but the co-owner of the gym, was a New England champion and knows how to keep Brian on track.
Brian Linane is the real deal. We think he's as talented as you're ever going to find. He's been around here for about 3 years. Very, very, very special. Physically, he's very talented. As much as I've ever seen. He's one of those guys, you don't have to ask him twice to fight. He wants to fight.
To Brian, boxing is not only a hobby.
I see myself as a professional fighter. I want to go professional when I'm at least 21 years old. I want to fight amateur until then. Boxing means to me everything. Everything. Okay? That's it. That's all I gotta say.
For Mustang Magazine, I'm Helena Aldui.
Thanks, Helena. Well, that's all we have for you on this month's edition of Mustang Magazine. This is our last show for the season, but don't worry, we'll be back in the fall.
To see more Mustang Magazine, visit us online at www.nhstv.org or hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. Thanks for watching and see you in September.
See ya. Hello and welcome to this summer edition of Mustang Magazine, the show that brings you all the stories. 3. Can you count me down, Tom?
Thanks, Tessa.
No,
Conditioning for next year's swim team has already begun.
She
Good luck
opened
to
the
Catherine
door,
and her team.
and I looked at her, and it's Mustang Magazine. Teaching stories from the Norwood High School. Stories from Norwood High School.
What are you doing? He wasn't laughing. Now we're moving on.
No,
What'd you say?
No, you laughed.
No, I didn't.
Skills to the streets of New England. 3, 2.
Oh, that hurt. You jerk. I hate when people do that. He pulled the hair out of my leg. Oh, and I have hairy legs. At least I have something to spare.
Introduce you.
Were you blowing on my leg? No. Someone was blowing on my leg. Tom didn't get the memo. Tom, you're not supposed to wear blue. You can't wear blue, Tom.
3,
There's
2.
big bugs that are attracted to it. They come out once every 17
No,
years. And this is the
seriously,
year. I gathered myself.
Come on, pull yourself together.
You're so hostile.
Thanks, Erin.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Huh? A lot of crap.
All I need is love.
All right.